Dear students, in this video lecture, we will learn about compound epicyclic gear train and planetary epicyclic gear trains. Let's discuss about compound epicyclic gear train. We know compounding of gears means loading two or more gears on a single shaft. So even in case of compound epicyclic gear train, two or more gears will be loaded on a single shaft. Look at this picture. Gear D is in mesh with gear C and both are connected to each other with the help of arm H. O1 is the center of rotation for gear D and O2 is the center of rotation for gear C. Together they form a simple gear train discussed earlier. Now compounding is done at O2 and on the same shaft gear B is also loaded alongside gear C. Gear B is in mesh with an internal gear A. Once again, by fixing different members of this gear train, different velocity ratios may be obtained. Let's discuss about planetary gear trains. Planetary gear trains, also referred as epicyclic gear trains, is very much like our solar system. It consists of a sun gear right at the center, two or three planet gears orbiting around the sun gear, and a ring gear which is holding all elements together just like gravity of our own solar system. All the planet gears are connected to each other with the help of a planet carrier. This is how the elements of gear train moves. Now let's discuss how different velocity ratios can be obtained using this gear train. The gear train shown here is having 24 teeth on sun gear, 12 teeth on each planet gear and 48 teeth on ring gear. We will consider four cases. In the first case, carrier will be fixed. In the second case, sun gear will be fixed. In the third case, ring gear will be fixed. And in the fourth case, any two members of this gear train will be fixed simultaneously. The discussion will be on input gear, output gear, fixed gear, direction of motion and change in the output speed. Here is the first case. Carrier is fixed. So the planet gears can only move around their own centers of rotations. However, they can't move upon and around sun gear. Sun gear will be a driver and output motion will be taken from ring gear. Now let's give one anti-clockwise rotation to the sun gear, and this is how the arrangement will work. The direction of input and output shaft, that is sun and ring gear, is opposite to each other. The ring gear will turn half the rotations of the sun gear, so the speed will be reduced. This one is the first gear ratio. In the second case, we are going to fix up the sun gear and input motion will be given to ring gear. The output will be taken from carrier. This is how the arrangement will work. Both ring gear and carrier will turn in same direction and carrier will move 2 times the speed of ring gear. So the speed will be double and this one is the second gear ratio. In the third case, ring gear will be fixed, input will be given to the carrier, and output motion will be taken from the sun gear. This is how the arrangement will work. Both input and output will turn in the same direction, and sun gear will turn 3 times the carrier. Fourth condition is not shown here. However, input motion will be given to the sun gear and output will be taken either from ring gear or carrier. In this condition, any two members are to be locked with each other. That is, ring gear and planet carriers are to be locked, or sun gear and planet carrier are to be locked with each other. The drive will be a direct drive with same input and output speeds. Gear ratio will be 1:1. That is, both input and output will be turning in the same direction with same speed. This one is the fourth gear ratio. So, it's obvious that with such a small and compact size, 4 different gear ratios can be obtained. Hence, epicyclic gear trains are commonly used in automatic transmissions in automobiles. You will not need 8 gears, 3 for forward and 1 for reverse gears, like conventional gearbox, which occupies lot of space. Locking of gears will be done with brake and clutch and actuator mechanism, which is not shown and discussed here. How the speed increases and reduces will be discussed in detail while solving the problems. So, in the next video lecture, we will learn about how to find out velocity ratios for epicyclic gear train.